This week, a lot of people are talking about mental illness because Belle has the hashtag going around, Belle Let's Talk, and people are sharing their own personal stories and the stories of others that have suffered from mental illness. And I wanted to share my own. And when I was in high school, I think that's when I first had um, had mental illness that I realized, and the way that mine came out was in the form of anorexia. And I do think that mental illness comes in many different forms, and I think that everyone's experience is very personal. So, the way that I coped with what was going on in my head was by controlling my body by not eating. So, fast forward a few years to when I was getting married. I was in a new career, which I was really, really excited about, and of course, very excited to be marrying my best friend. But there was a lot of big changes again going on in my life. So I started to feel some anxiety again. So I talked to my family doctor, and she recommended that I speak to a therapist. I had someone who just really listened to what I had to say and kind of guided me through conversations to help me sort out my own thoughts. And I found it very helpful and very beneficial. So, during that period of change with my new career and getting married and planning a wedding, I had really worked through a lot of the things that were going on inside of my mind through therapy sessions. And I think during my pregnancy was the first time that I had a full blown anxiety attack. It happened while I was at work. I was in the middle of my day. I was working on my computer, and my head flooded with negative thoughts about what the future might be like for me and my husband and my unborn baby. And it was all negative, and I could not turn it off, and it was crippling. I could not work, and I just went to my boss and said, I have to go home. I have to go home right now. So I was speaking with someone, new therapist, and she was the one who I told her about my past two run ins with depression and anxiety and when they had happened in my life. And she said, I think you're someone who really doesn't cope well during big change periods. Um, in my own personal experience, suffering from anxiety and depression, the more I seek help, the more I learn more about my own mind and how it works, the better I can combat the tough times and move through them. And I don't think for a second that there are not going to be more tough times that I'm going to have to work through, but I am confident and hopeful that I have developed tools and I continue to develop tools that help me to live a happy, healthy life. One of the great things about having a blog is I don't have to wait till someone I'm having a conversation with brings up the topic. I can share my story whenever I feel like it on my blog. So that is a great thing about it. And I hope that my story is hopeful and encourages you to share your own. If you know of someone who might be going through a rough time, definitely lend an ear because I know that that will definitely help them out. Let's talk.